so I must assume that we are here. So now that we are here, there we go. And after adjusting the volume a bit, I think it's time to unveil what the next several hours will be. So there's a game that I've known about for quite a while. Several years in fact. And vaguely interested in, but never actually played until this week. And by this week I mean yesterday. And because I like to go through the games I do for the stream entirely before I start to do them for the stream, I devoted most of yesterday to going through this game, because it does take a while to get through the whole thing. Especially when it's your first time playing and you don't know about a lot of the quirks it has, because it's that kind of game, but it was accomplished, so I'm pretty sure I can more or less project that this will go fairly smoothly, and that it will take around, ideally around 10 hours between 2 sessions, so there's a certain part of the game that I want to reach by, I think, 10 PM tonight, and I wonder if I'm gonna be able to do it, if I progress at a steady pace, but I certainly hope so, because I say 10 hours, apparently there's a way to finish the game in less than 4. That is a requirement for a certain something. So let me see if I can get this open already. I should also mention, I guess, that I did 0 testing to see if this would work for the stream before now. I did managed to get it running in a window, and that's about the extent of the testing I did. So this should be an interesting experience. This should be the one, I believe, even if I can't see anything. Would that be the one? I thought it would be the one. Oh man. Alright, let me focus that and see if that changes. It does change, alright, never mind. So I think it's time to stop this masterpiece for now and let these sounds take over. Also, apparently it only updates its picture if it's in focus. That's a wee bit annoying, but I think I can deal with that. And I'm trying to get it in focus for long enough that I can center it. There we go. Or at least acceptably so. That should do. And I believe the intro proper to the game will be next. Here it is. The following game contains scenes of a disturbing nature. To maximize your Cthulhu experience, use the option menu to adjust your brightness settings. Some games are supposed to be played in the dark, you see. And that is very true of this one, because Cthulhu will manipulate your graphics. But that is not all, for you see, if you play this in a well-lit chamber, you'll probably see your reflection on the monitor, because the game is very dark. So it's probably not advised. You should totally wait until night to play this switch. Well, would be less than ideal right now, I guess. Still a little bit of light outside, but yes, this is Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth. And it's certainly an experience. I was gonna say, never actually sat through that intro before, so I was wondering if it was gonna lead right to the main menu, and I guess it did. So let me make one last couple of adjustments. Okay, I see that there is no load game options, which means that the previous saves that I had made actually got moved and hidden successfully. That's good. Let me have a look at the options. This should still be the same, if I believe. Subtitles are on, everything else is fine. Credits and cinematics are our options. Brightness is turned all the way up, but even so, I don't think the brightness actually makes a difference. You see, you can change this all you want, and there's like really no visible difference, at least on my end. I believe the mouse sensitivity is already optimized for this setup. And the keys are exactly what they should be. So pretty much the only thing to do at this point is to start a new game and begin the experience. But before I do that, let me just... Right, I have moved the taskbar so that it's... How small can I make the OBS thing there? That will have to do. So I've got almost everything ready. The only thing that would remain at this point, I believe, would be for me to actually go and turn off the lights, because they are on right now. So excuse me for a moment. And the lights have gone down, and even though there were, I think, housekeeping and construction noises just an hour ago being very intrusive and loud and obnoxious, I think they've subsided for now, so that's a good thing. So I think it's time to begin this. We get a few difficulty options: Boy Scout, Private Investigator, Hardened Detective, and Mythos Specialist. Pretty sure the Hardened Detective option wasn't available at first, but it does become available when you finish the game once on Private Investigation difficulty, which I guess it's, you know, typical progression: easy, normal, hard, and very hard. So I think I'll go for normal one more time, because this game can be pretty unforgiving, let me tell you. And not only that, but if you pick easy, you can do most of the stuff in the game, but you can't get a Mythos rank at the end. What that is, well, we'll find out at the end. So let us begin on Private Investigator difficulty. On this story that draws many elements from H.P. Lovecraft and Cthulhu mythos, mythology.
Now, at my end, I can fully see. My last case opened in me a new fear. A real fear. A fear of myself, of what I am, and of what I've always been. All that I was is now lost. Hope, purpose, pleasure, all meaningless. I now walk in the shadows between worlds, and it is there I have finally glimpsed upon what lives in the dark corners of the earth.
Well, that was a game. Well, no, first we actually have to find out what lives in the dark corners of the earth, but... Well, this is our protagonist. And by the fact that we start in an asylum, and that he's doing this, I can already tell we're in for quite a ride. And we get to glimpse at what he's just said in manuscript. But no, as it turns out, that was merely a vision of, well, the present. So how do we get there? Need to go back in time a few years to find out what happened with that guy. Also, game tips are currently active. I don't think they help all that much. Or if they're really present most of the time, because I don't really remember them. About 6.5 years before that scene. His handwriting got a bit different. And it was 1915, they said. So this is right at the beginning of the 20th century.
Robert, this had better be good. What's the beef?
Sorry, Jack. We had to call. This fellow will only talk to you. Name's Victor Holt.
Don't know any Victor.
He's the leader of this weird cult that moved in here a few months back. Got about 20 followers. They've been causing trouble all over town. Stealing, going through folks' trash, hanging around outside people's homes at all hours. No one ever presses charges, though. They're a screwy bunch. They've got the locals scared. So tonight, we were just passing, you know, doing the normal rounds, when we heard gunshots fired from their property.
Gunshots? Hang on there. No one said anything about gunshots. Who have we got out here?
Yeah, just me, Nichols, and a few new recruits.
Well, that's just great. Lead the way, Robert. I better check out this crazy gang of yours.
And at this point we assume control of Mr. Jack Walters, who apparently works with the police at this point. And we cannot chicken out because we cannot jump over the police line barriers, which, I don't know, does that really count as a police line if they're actual barriers also?
Hurry up, Jack.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. I need to... That's kind of sloppy, but I need to close Skype as well. Because notifications that pop up sometimes can make this... the cursor binding kind of screwy. But now there is no problem from that.
How you doing, kid?
Good, sir. Is it true what they say about you?
Depends on what they're saying.
That you've cracked cases where there was no evidence?
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Right.
So apparently we have something of a reputation. Anything
Always
else?
questions I'm in no mood for answering.
No, I guess we don't want to talk to that guy anymore. Oh boy.
Jack, Officer Nichols will brief you at the top. Be careful.
What's taking him so long? Something must be wrong.
That's odd.
I saw him with Officer Armstrong. Just take it easy.
Oh well. So you people have anything to say
Evening,
to me?
Jack. Glad you could join the freak show.
How's it looking, Henry?
I don't like this one bit, Jack. Check the alley on the right. Victor Holt's over there in the shadows. He's waiting for you.
Can we trust him?
Nope, but we've got you covered. You better take it slowly, though. They're a bit twitchy.
Well, apparently we got this house full of cultists and there were gunshots being fired from this location, and we get a call from that guy. Oh boy. Wanted to see us, but now he's, well, now this is happening. So, things are getting a little bit intense right off the bat, with gunshots being fired between these strange cultists and the cops. Should be noted that we have 0 weapons at this point, so we can't exactly help them out. Can, however, go into this way into the house. It was left unguarded. And get a glimpse of just how dark this game is most of the time.
It's an old stove.
Also, old Jack has a comment about pretty much
It's
every
hot,
item in the
giving off
game.
a lot of smoke.
You weren't looking at the stove there, Jack.
The stove's still burning.
So he's very descriptive. but we can find a few things. Okay. That is kind of strange.
The fire's still burning.
The mouse is kind of going out the window, but it's not really doing anything. If I click outside of it, which I guess I'm gonna have to put up with that, but... But anyway, if we go into this room, it's a very charming, art-filled room we can find. This scripture up on the podium.
As I continue to translate the narcotic fragments, I become more and more eager to contact my Yithian masters. These beings truly are gods to us. Their intellect and knowledge surpasses ours in ways impossible to comprehend. I know now just how insignificant mankind is in the universe, a doomed and simple species thrown up as a side effect of an experiment by the elder things. It is a blessing that such flawed creatures as ourselves have such a short and limited future.
Well. And that was our first journal item. So we can, I believe, go into the inventory screen for a moment. So here's what old Jack looks like. We can check the states of our various body parts and see if we need to heal ourselves, but we do not at the moment. We can check the time, we can use analgesics if we want to, but pretty sure I never even remember that this was an option the first time I got through the whole thing. And we can get other documents such as Diary of Jack Walters. Apparently he's a bit of a local hero cub. And he's being called in to, well, we already know what's happening, but look at this. And he's having some bad dreams as well. And we can review the podium sermon that we've just read out loud. However, we have nothing collected under Mythos tomes and manuscripts. Also, I hope you're familiar with some of Lovecraft's works, such as The Shadow Out of Time and At the Mountains of Madness, or else some of the references in this aren't going to make a lot of sense to you. Especially The Shadow Out of Time.
That symbol's strange. Looks almost like a flaming eye. I should take a closer look.
Also, here's a symbol that looks like a flaming eye, which I guess stands out among all the other things hanging on the wall in this room.
It's locked.
Well, it's locked, but if we interact with this, we can save our game. And, oh yeah, there's some Mythos rank read at the end. Depending on how we play the game, depending on certain factors, mostly, I think the most important ones for the Mythos rank are
Don't budge.
how we play the game and
It won't open.
how fast we beat the game, how many saves we do over the course of the game, and what percentage of items we collect. But I'm not really going to play this in accordance with trying to get a higher rank, mostly because I don't know how to do that effectively. Well, here's a guy. Seems like he's not really all there, and now he's dead. Also,
You seem to recognize me. I don't get it.
this game has a sanity mechanic where if we look at disturbing images for too long,
An old wardrobe.
we start to lose more and more sanity. And disturbing images
Empty ammo boxes and spent shells. Nothing useful.
does include dead bodies, so I think if we stare at this guy for a little while, it might happen. Or maybe not, because I don't see it happening right now. So what else can we find in the shooty cultist house? Well, maybe this will demonstrate the effect that I'm talking about. It is not really a pretty sight after all. Ah, there we go. So our vision starts to blur like that. Starts doing wonky stuff.
Poisoning by the looks of it.
Or at least we can find out that that guy was poisoned.
Poison appears to have been on the menu.
And apparently it also happened to all these other people that were in this
He's
room.
dead. They're all dead.
They are all dead.
Suicide. Or rather, mass suicide. These nuts had some serious issues.
So I guess we
He's
got
dead.
a
They're all dead. Nothing of interest.
Jonestown type thing going on here. Well, we can grab a
Diary.
diary, as old Jack just helpfully pointed out. Of a cult member. I've been watching someone for 2 months. Apparently they're talking about Walters and that Victor guy that got killed. Was apparently the one who thought about that. Great race transcending the bounds of time to visit his dreams. We are both servants to a greater design, you see. The experiments below have claimed one more of our order. Oh boy. Finally it begins, and that is today's date.
This will make interesting reading.
Well, you already read it, genius, so I guess I need to finish that thought, though. I don't think there's anything else in this room, though, just that wonderful sight. But there is one more door to explore with this room, which holds a live and shooty cultist still.
Don't shoot. I'm unarmed.
Ah, we've been expecting you, Mr. Bob.
Yeah, you would kind of expect that to happen.
Damn. He recognized me. And it sounded like he was going to get on the level with what's going on in this joint.
Yeah, we don't quite get answers, but
He's dead. A key. Could come in handy.
we do get a key. An inventory item. So, well, I don't know. We can use certain inventory items by facing the item that needs to be affected and going into the menu and picking the item manually, but for keys, for the most part, it just
It's locked.
gets used automatically if we get to the
It's
door
unlocked.
that it unlocks, and old Jack says it's unlocked, like that. 10 to 15 hours to beat. Well, that is pretty...
I don't understand. I mean, all of these photos.
pretty consistent with
All of them.
my one playthrough that
Must
I
be
did
some kind of mistake.
yesterday.
Why would they want me here? It must be an old case. Something I've forgotten. Some screwball with a grudge, maybe.
But based on that experience,
Gotta think.
based on that experience, I think that's assuming that it's your first playthrough and you haven't figured out all the kinks yet on how to get through certain parts. And also you have a vague idea of what you're supposed to be doing on each scene, but apparently old Jack here, they know all about him.
What the hell is going on? It seems they've been tracking my movements.
And they have a timetable and everything. That's very organized.
Another key. This should fit the door across the hall.
He knows this instinctively, I'm sure, but this will fit the
It's
door across the
unlocked.
hall. It's unlocked, and this leads us to a library
For nutcases, they seem quite literate.
with a deep dreaming
It looks like an eye, but the rest of the painting has no real shape.
painting. And some kind of bottle that apparently we can't examine.
These books are... There are definitely some
Oh boy.
strange sounds coming from this side of the room.
So yeah, also we get a mirror with, which I guess is a real mirror because it's double rendering and everything. Which shows how Jack can jump. Not really contracting his legs at all, he just kind of springs up like that. And also there's a secret passage that you can find if you just keep heading in this direction. That's kind of hard to notice if you just look at it from a distance, but... Oh, we got a trapdoor.
Shit, that did not sound good.
Oh boy, well, somebody was groaning down here, but now they've gone quiet. And these stairs down to this place are
Well,
broken.
that's just swell.
So there's no way to press plot forward.
He's dead. The beam must have fallen and crushed his skull.
Well, at least now we know what was causing that sound. Boy. And apparently there's real instability going on down here, judging by how the screen's shaking.
Medical charts on the human anatomy.
Oh boy. So we got a surgical
Dead bodies.
lab down here.
Plenty of them. Something dreadful has been going on down here.
Yep, that sure is a lot of dead
They
bodies.
must have been trying to preserve the bodies. From the markings, he must have been one of their own. I wonder if he volunteered.
Volunteer to be chopped up and placed in the morgue. Seems like a lovely prospect. But if we keep going and get to this room, it seems a bit different, doesn't it? And apparently we have an eagle's eye because we can see that dead guy from across the room.
Good God! What the hell is all this?
Well, maybe not dead since he's twitching and all that. So he's hooked up to this. And if we examine these places around the room, well, there's a green gem next to him, but
It's too hot to pick up.
the gem is too hot. But we also got
Looks like his brain. I wonder what those wires are for.
his body parts hooked up
This
to
pipe must drain
different
the waste from his
machines.
intestines. Looks like his kidneys. They're moving around in all that liquid.
I don't know if this succeeded or preceded Eternal Darkness, though. Should probably have looked into that. I think this was like 2006-ish, maybe a little bit late or earlier, like more like 2004-ish
It
actually,
looks like his stomach.
around that time.
The contraption above seems to be controlling his breathing.
Yeah, I guess it would be around the same time now that I think about it.
His beating heart.
But we got all these organs and... Well, what if we...
Shit!
Well, that's a good start. Don't know what that accomplished, but now the guy's dead.
At least he's out of his misery.
Yeah, he didn't really look like he was having a good time, and now
The crystal's still warm.
the crystals apparently cooled down enough for us to pick it up, but it's still warm, and we can explore beyond this place
Tunnel feels like it's gonna collapse at any moment.
into even more unstable tunnels. And wouldn't you know it, we have another crystal right here.
It's too hot to touch. I think it's being used as a power source for the machine.
So the crystals are power sources. And, well, apparently these things are switches, we can figure out that much. And they lead into this room. Yep, this seems like what you would find under a house in the United States in 1912. And we can try
There's
to
no power.
press the switch, but as it happens there's no power, because if we go around we can see there's a slot
It looks
here,
like something's been removed from it.
or one of those crystals, so we can go ahead and place the one we found right on there, and try the switch again.